Hey there. Um, it's honestly going to be episode 6 of Drunkman. I've had several beers. This would be 5, 6 beers, 4 of which at 5%, and the last 2 of which at 4.7, which I haven't been drinking any 6% anymore. Um, what does that mean for me? What does that mean towards the way that my reality has been existing? It's very different. So since the last video, um, I completely relapsed. I completely relapsed. Things got very bad. Um, Between then and now, lost a lot of myself. Realizing how much I lost in myself, I felt that um, I just couldn't. I wasn't able to cope properly. Part of this problem is my inability to speak with anybody. Man, this is what happens when I smoke weed, by the way. Uh, I'm not having a stroke. Wait, am I having a stroke? Um, hmm. Hmm. No. Okay. Doesn't seem to be like I'm stroking. But yeah, this is definitely something that does happen when I smoke a whole bunch of marijuana. That all aside, yeah, I've had about 6 beers. So I've been starting off my nights recently, which isn't normal. I used to have two, and then I fell into drinking 6% combined with that. And I was in a fucking black hole. I've been dialing it all down now again, understanding that I need to. Arguably, I do worry about myself. I'm 30 years old. I've been going through this for quite a while, and you can't do this to yourself forever. Um, I'm cutting off years of my life. Years. Um, there's no way I will live to even 80, maybe 75. As if I don't suffer some horrible problem because of this. There's a truth in that. And there's a reality that I'm aware of the entire time. The problem is that the way that I am, I can understand the clock. I can understand everything that I do to myself. Some people think very linearly. I've discovered this recently. Bless those that do. Some people see things as very directional. They see their life as do this from point A to point B, and that's how they go. That is not how I function, unfortunately. The way that I can describe it is that I function much like the idea of a. Have you ever heard of a mind map where you draw a centralized idea and then you shoot off different little ideas from there and they envelop little pods and then those pods shoot off from there? So it allows you to build up um, build up an idea, build an idea into something bigger than its original self. So let's say you're thinking about something like chess, right? And you put chess in the center, and then on the offshoots you start thinking about, like, okay, well, parts of chess, there's going to have to be um, a like mathematical statistics in like a little bubble somewhere, right? Another part of chess would be like its history, where it came from. That's super cool, and you can and then another part of it would be something like social impact, maybe. And then in another little part, you could put something like it could be anything, right? It could be benign. It could be something like um, cost of manufacturing versus other forms of board games. In a mind map, you can put anything in there, right? So some people's brains, I think, have to learn how to do the whole mind map thing. And with the way that I would describe some of them is that they think more linearly. They think more in a single direction from, like, oh, like this goes to this, goes to this, and it's all pretty obvious to them, and that's just what that's how they function. That's what they do. They establish a thing, they learn the thing, they function through that mindset of the thing, and that's how they go. Myself, I have learned distinctively between myself and other people that my mind works much more like this mind map scenario. Someone will ask me a question, and immediately my mind goes into like these every form of whatever. And a lot of what I have to do is actually cut off what isn't important in the conversation. That's what I have to do. I have to actively cut off what I have to understand through living my life, what is unimportant in a conversation, or what is appropriate in a conversation. Because the way that my mind works, there isn't a filter for that. So that's how I operate. That's how I work. I don't know where the fuck this all came out from, but I guess what I'm really talking about is my autism at this point, so that's funny. Or what I feel is clearly what I'm defining. This is how I am defining my autism, or how I am fundamentally, I feel I am different with some of the people that I interact with. Actually, literally everybody that I interact with for the most part on a daily basis. But with that, really what I need to talk about is again the elephant in the room about the drinking, about any sort of substance use and everything else. One of the things that I've learned is that I began to feel in the beginning of this. The only reason I'm making a video now is because I'm remotely somewhat out of it. Otherwise, you would have been able to watch me during it, but I am not capable of really getting in there when I'm that deep down, which is something that I would have liked people to notice. If you're not updating or you're not making something, it'd be nice to have anybody just kind of mention it. That's how it goes, though. Nobody mentions anything to me. That's part of the biggest issue. That's why I can go throughout some of the hardest things anybody should ever have to feel yet. It's all on my own. No one asks me how it is. No one. Doesn't matter how close they are. That's okay, though. I'm here for me at the end of the day. Maybe that sounds maybe callous a bit, but I gotta be. I gotta be here for me. If I feel like there isn't even me, and I have to continually live for somebody else, then your life's really distorted, you know? And I hope that, like, if you're feeling that way, like, look inside yourself, you're worth it, bro. Like, or bra or whatever, whatever, like, it doesn't matter. Like, being here is hard. It feels like, or sometimes it might feel like the world really genuinely is against us in a lot of different ways and whatnot. We have to also remember that a lot of it is also our interpretation of the ways that we are experiencing this life that we're fed. Arguably, I will not take away the fact that what you were experiencing is difficult, whatever it be. I will never take away that. The internalization of difficulty of living a life is real. If you feel it's difficult, it's fucking difficult. But what we can talk about is the way of going around it, the way that we can come about it, a way that we can. First of all, we have to accept that we are telling ourselves that it's difficult constantly. That's the first thing. The second thing that one must do is actually tell themselves that, okay, well, something is clearly difficult. We have to face it. Well, it's time to do the other thing. It's time to face it. It is time to do the active portion of it. So reality is participation as well as active. Like, well, what would I say? It's experience, and then there becomes active participation as part of the experience. People want to say that living is very, very hard and everything else, and I will never take that away, but the reality is that whatever you're experiencing, you have to go through. Because that's your reality. Whatever you're experiencing, you have to go through because that's your reality. That's real. It's real to you. Is it wrong? It could be. But the only way that you're going to find out that it's wrong is if you take the active time to understand and learn about what is happening, right? The world typically isn't genuinely against you. A lot of us put stress on ourselves, against ourselves, and we blame the world for that stress, right? Right? I feel I'm not perfect. Well, I'm not perfect because the world thinks that everything needs to be so perfect. That's not my problem. It's not my fault. But I mean, isn't it? You're the one telling yourself that A, you can't be perfect. You're comparing yourself to the world, which you think is also perfect. And then third of all, you're denying the ability that you could become perfect. Arguably, becoming perfect is very stupid, and I think that's wrong. So, but not perfect. But let's say like a better version of whatever, right? Like let's say that we can't become better, right? So we see things that invite us to become better, and then it becomes incongruent. It becomes difficult to see how we can do that. Like myself, I figured that I couldn't become a non-alcoholic completely. But lately, I've been telling myself that I'm not an alcoholic. I don't believe it yet. But I'm ingraining this into my head. Because if it becomes a chant where I say I'm not an alcoholic, eventually, I know the truth is I will grab a beer and I will look at it and be like, well, I'm not an alcoholic. Why would I drink this? Right? I don't look at myself as a psychedelic abuser, so I don't abuse psychedelics. I don't look at myself as a I don't know. I don't look at myself as someone who is unworthy and incapable of finding a relationship. So I don't reject friendship and display abnormative forms of wanting to be alone. I just am alone. I'm not alone. Like I have people around me. My problem is that don't like. I'm not good at like real life people shit. Sorry for banging the mic. Rip headphone users, y'all. But I don't know. I've been rambling. I know I've been rambling. Just wanted to convey some of the shit that I've been going through. Again, I guess it would make more sense to really have videos about me going through the difficult times, but the difficult times have no motivation. When I'm going through the real difficult times, and this is for any addict, right? Like, we look at people as addicts and we think of them as someone that's pretty messed up, obviously, but we don't understand the mentality that allows them to go into this cycle of literally being okay with being a piece of shit. You talk to any addict that's actually going through their own addiction, very few addicts have forms of narcissism so much, because unless they're successful. If you're a regular addict, a lot of the addiction, it only shows you more of the problems of your own doing. You know, you're most addicts, I would argue, feel like they don't know how to get through the problem. They don't even know what the problem is, but they also aren't so stupid that they aren't aware that it is a problem. It's I don't entirely know. You know, the truth is, I also can't speak for everybody. I don't know. I'm really talking about my own experience, and again, it's going to have to come back to what I have to say about what I'm doing. I just I want to feel through everyone going through addiction, but the more that I've learned about life is that addiction is not centered around one exact thing. It can be physical, it can be mental, it can be completely based on the society and the rejection of that society. It can be through liberation, even literally. It can feel liberating to be an addict. And no one will ever really be honest about that necessarily, but in a way it can. It can feel empowering. It can feel like you know yourself more than the world that is crushing you down. Are these good and viable, healthy thoughts? Absolutely not. But this is addiction. Addiction is not some sort of beautiful lens that we can put something on. We're talking about something that is genuinely hurting a person, hurting us. It hurts. And I don't want the conversation to be, well, how do we care about people who are addicted? It should be easy to. It's not easy. I mean, that's the truth. It's not easy. First of all, there's so many truths, right? Oh, well, you just became addicted because you didn't want to live real life or you didn't want to face reality. Well, truth is, if you were to be honest, most of y'all would love the opportunity to not face reality as well. Hate to break it to most of y'all sober asses. You know? Every time I talk about sober people, about my experiences, they're like, man, I wish I could have done that with my life. I ain't about that, but that's extreme, bro. Of course it is. It is extreme. I'm living the exact life you would like to, because it's not what you've ever done. But you know what? Thank gosh you don't have to go through all of the turmoil that I've gone through as well. You can at least just listen. This is the beauty of reality, because I get to listen to these guys that have so what I feel, right? Internally, they think I have everything going for me because I get to do all this bullshit to myself. That's a lie. I feel that they have everything going for them because they're out there, like, their drive is getting them to places, man. All that's amazing. What's amazing is when we have conversations and we can really, here's how I feel it is, right? You're going to live and die. You have this line, okay? So from here to here, okay? This is your life. Very simple, easy, right? Okay, so picture this handset. We're going to put it down here. Bam, that's one life. Now close the hand. Bam, we have another life. And it's going, another life. It's going to live from here to here. Same thing, right? It's going to go from there to there. So we got two lives. One here, one here. The fact of the matter is, you are not capable of living more than your own life as a single human being. You cannot live more than from here to here. You cannot. So the way that we do that, the way that we live more lives, the way that we embrace lives, What we do is we talk. Sorry, I think it's easier if I go. If we talk to the person from here, going to the person down here throughout their life. All right, so the way that we embrace life, the way that we actually live more lives than ourselves are capable of experiencing, it's through art, it's through artistry, it's through communication, it's through those things. You speak to a person about what the fuck they're doing, it's probably far more significantly different than you, and then that's how you also grow, because you wouldn't be doing that. But if you get to hear a person who is passionate about what they're doing, they'll be able to convey you these things, right? You speak to somebody that's into watches, and eventually you'll understand the difference between a Casio, a Rolex, a Patek, the several German names of producers that I can't remember, and of course the Swiss, all of the Swiss. That if I had more respect, I would remember more of their watches names, but I'm too stupid to even pretend that I'm really part of horology, which is the people who like to keep time. It's an interest of timekeeping, unless I'm fucking that up. But so much exists out there. And the only way that you can experience that is through speaking to all these other people. You cannot live in a vacuum. You cannot. To anybody that is, please do not reach out. Reach out to anybody. Fuck, I've got a Discord. Reach out on it. I don't think it's that hard to find. If it is, comment. But you cannot live in a vacuum. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger has stated he is not a self-made man. And we're talking about a guy who's, Mr. Olympia, worked out, became governor of California. Arguably, we're talking about an individual that literally has done more with their lives than I have. And he's the first to admit, truthfully, he's not the one he didn't do it alone. So don't think that living in a vacuum is an honor or a something that is of value. It is not. It isn't. This Sigma mindset of being the lone wolf that has to only go about his own ways. I think it's personally pretty sad. It says a lot about the people dictating the mindset, and the mindset in that case is that I am forced to be alone, and that the world doesn't need I don't know. I can understand when people say that I don't need the world. I don't need so much acceptance or etc. But the truth is, no, we all want that. We all want that. I don't want anybody to have to feel like they're alone. And the truth is, even the people on the Sigma grind set aren't feeling alone. They're joining a community. So, but it's antagonistic to the idea, right? Like, yo, I'm a Sigma. I'm on my own. Wait, we're all Sigmas. Grind set, brother. You be Sigma as fuck. But it's like, you deliberately don't want to make friendship because, I don't know. So what happens next? Competition? That idea is weird to me, right? Even personally, the idea of this like alpha, beta, gamma, delta shit, it's all kind of fucked up, right? Like, no research. I'm not gonna bother even looking it up. But every time everybody talks about it, I always hear it being about some sort of like shitty ass, stupid study done in something. And arguably, you look at actual wolf structures, the Sigma isn't necessarily like the biggest whatever, and it's not like the hierarchy is in the same way that people expect, right? Like, I don't know. If you want to talk about like alphabet and beta, it has nothing to do with wolves. I mean, at best, we could talk about gorilla society, right? Then there's something, but even then, uh, you still out on the top of the totem pole, willing to get murdered? Like, it's just dumb. Well, I know half of this has been rambling, but I have to get it off my chest. I have to just be here. So yeah, this is episode 6. What's happening for the rest of the night? I got a bunch of water in me. I was supposed to play a certain game. I don't know what's gonna happen, sadly. I do have to get some good food in me though, so I'll do that. And then go to bed on time. Basically, it already feels like tonight's the write off because my stupid ass had way too much beer. So, I'm drunk. What does a drunk person do? They stay drunk. It's the same thing if what it doesn't matter whatever drug you're addicted to. When you want to get in that state, you want to stay that state, right? I like smoking marijuana. If I could actually smoke that bowl and just stay high, wouldn't that be amazing? That's a lie. Because it won't happen that way. You keep smoking that bowl until all of a sudden you pass out. You try to smoke that shit the next day, guess what? Bang. Half as fucking high. You don't even freaking barely feel as high. You keep smoking it though like a stupid dumbass, and guess what happens? Pass the fuck out. Next day, same thing. Now it's a quarter. Now you're ripping the fucking bong all day just to try to catch a buzz. Your lungs can't even catch up with your need, dumbass. Stop chasing it. Reality is right there, bro. It's all there, man. Open our eyes, brothers, sisters, misters, thermisters, people of every credence. It's all there, man. Doesn't matter. You just have to open our eyes, dude. Don't hurt yourself. Why? When you hurt yourself, you hurt others. And if you're hurting yourself, guess what? You're probably willing to hurt others. It's stupid. It's dumbass. Sad. Real sad. I don't want you to be so sad. You know what? I want all of us to like be able to like hang out and be like, yo, like, wouldn't it be cool if we just like hug? Because like humans are cool when they like hug and chill and shit. Like, right? Like, it's nice. That's what we're supposed to do. It releases like a stupid ass drug. I forget what the fuck it's called, but it actually like releases like when you get hugged by someone you like. If you're getting hugged, trust me, you know you don't want to be a part of the circle. Yeah, don't jump in having to feel that way. You probably feel negative. That'd be bad. But like like when we can actually like hug each other and want to hug each other, it's like nice. It's like it's like this is cool. I think it should be easy. I wish more humans were easy like that. Like, I don't know. The thing is, you blast off as high as I have. Life's a little bit weird, You don't look at people different, the way you might. We're all on a big ass spaceship floating through space. Everybody wishes they could become something. Truth is, we're all just humans floating on a goddamn rock. We're all imperceptible in the reality of the existence of this universe. We're nothing. We're a speck of dust. We place so much value on trying to be the biggest part of that speck of dust in a universe that doesn't even value us. That's fucking wild. I think you're wild if you feel like you need fame, you need to reach the top of all of this. It's a crab bucket. Everybody's trying to reach the top of all of this. And look at the people that have. Do you really think they're that great? Sorry, honey. I don't think so, bro. Like, what are they doing? Trying to fucking tell us to go to another planet? Like, this one's not worth it? That's so bullshit. That's the most bullshit thing I've ever heard. The very fact that instead of being like, yo, we have enough money in my pocket to actually fix this planet, and then we can like reach harmony and become like a super cool like society that's like dank as shit. But instead, this motherfucker is being like, no. If we conquer Mars first, we'll have more of the mentality that we can centralize. It's stupid. It's stupid. I'm sorry. You guys don't understand people's brains that do this shit. They're not like you, bro. They ain't like you. Stop thinking that you're like them. Don't even want to fucking be. Why? It's monstrous. These people have no concept of what the fuck they're even doing. Look at the people that work for them. Like, take 2 seconds out of your damn day, bro. Like, it's silly to me, man. I don't know. Shit, this has gone on too long. Whatever. Biggest thing I just want to say is, um, you know, truth is, I would like to have said I quit. I completely relapsed, and I'm sorry. Because if there were people that were watching that felt that I was gonna succeed like that, I did them down. I did them dirty. And I don't want to lie. I'm sorry that I had to wait till the end of the video or some shit to get. Maybe I said this before, but I just don't want to lie. I completely fucked up. Um, I didn't quit. Shit got even more depressing and bad, and I'm finally been doing something a little bit more active to try to get out of it. It's just I'm still climbing. The thing is, I remembered that climbing was important. For a while there, I only felt the fall. So, what I can say is that both of those things are real. When you feel like you're falling, you probably are. Look and pay attention and accept. And the next thing you can do is tell yourself, am I just gonna fall? Or am I someone that tries? Because those are the two options. In this case, it is pretty binary. You either try, and you fucking try again, and again, and again, until you fucking at least get somewhere towards succeeding. Or you give up, and you fall. And the places you can fall, the holes you can get into, you might go so deep that you figure there's no point getting out of them. This is how fucked up we get. Deny that. And say no. Say that this isn't about how deep we've gotten. It's about doing the one thing you can do. And instead of saying the hole is this deep and we're here and we can be here, you have to say to yourself, I'm in a hole. It's time to get out of it. And I believe in you. You don't need to know me. And through these videos, maybe you know me a little bit. But the truth is that there are going to be people that believe in you. Not everyone's willing to say it, nor do they know how to say it, nor do they have the confidence to say it, because sometimes believing in someone and seeing them fail hurts them more. But I don't care. I'm saying I believe in you. And if you fail, it's all right. But when you fail, what you need to do is just wipe the dust off and keep going. What's going to happen after this video? I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to get more beer. Because I really, really want more beer. Unfortunately, I also made a promise to myself that I would drink a little bit less. So what's that mean? I'm stuck drinking 2 beers instead of 3, and instead of them being normal, they're gonna be fucking Bush. 4.7. Let's go. Part of me figures that I shouldn't celebrate the differences I've made because I'm still so in it. Before I made this video, I was drinking 2 tall cans of 6% and a can of Pilsner. And then in my stupor, there was potential where I would come back twice again and I would drink another can of 6% and another can of Pilsner. And then sometimes I would come back again and I would get another can of at this point it would be a Pilsner and a Bush. When I say can, this is what I refer to, by the way. I no longer drink 6%. And I'm far more active in doing certain things for myself, like eating and taking care of myself, but none of this is easy. I've been going on for 37 minutes, and I'm not even, like, it's all there, like... Went to therapy. Should talk about that for a couple seconds. Some people aren't capable of doing this, what I'm doing, just speaking about it. To me, this is therapeutic. The truth is, arguably, I don't really care who hears it. No offense to my therapist. I think that she was a great lady, but talking to a person that was basically just a reflection of me was very difficult. And the most difficult part of it was the fact that I had to pay $160 an hour to have that right, that opportunity. No offense to her. Great person. But the whole time it just made me feel like I could make this much money talking to myself. I mean, arguably, I've kept myself alive that long. I don't know, it was weird. Plus, it's expensive. And the expensiveness of it was a detriment to my mental health as well. It was just another burden that I had to literally... It felt like I had to spend the money to go to this thing because this thing was supposed to be making me better, but I had to constantly approach that with the idea that it was all worth it. It never felt that way. Again, I really am sorry if my therapist ever does hear this. It's just because I know they're a person, but I'm the one who's at fault here. I don't think it has anything to do with them. I think if they were, I think a lot of their probably clientele are extremely, extremely happy with how they were very understanding and non-judgmental and very, when they had to present part of difficult things, they were willing to, and I thought that was extremely healthy. I think that's really good in any sort of therapeutic sense. It's good to be able to have that back and forth where one feels good enough where they can convey something that might be mentally abrasive to the person trying to receive that therapy, and I appreciated that. Man, I think this was supposed to end a while ago. I'm just gonna kill it. Hope y'all are real. Wonder if I'll upload this. I might. That's what the series is. The series is really just being unabashed, open. Life is wild, man. But I believe in it. Keep it real.